Hey everyone, and welcome to Lunch with Leaders by Junior Achievement. My name is Molly Edison, and I'm your host and technical support for our meeting today. We are so excited to have you all here, and we really look forward to introducing our featured guest, Tyler Lussi, who is a professional soccer player for Portland Thorns FC. We would love for you all to eat lunch during this call, so please do feel free to grab some food and get ready to listen. Now, before we do get started, I would love to take just a moment to go over some of the features of Zoom. So please make sure your cameras are on if you'd like to share your video. We'd love to see all of your faces here if you want to do so. All of the guest microphones have been muted, and we ask that you keep your microphone muted unless instructed to do so. Please make sure that you turn up your computer speakers and use headphones if needed. We also encourage that you use the chat box feature. Please feel free to type in any questions that you have or ask for any technical support in that chat box feature. Note that anything you add there will only be visible by Junior Achievement staff. So to start, if you could go to the chat box and type in what town you're tuning in from, we would love to see where everyone is joining us from today. We would also love to hear from you. So following the moderated discussion, we will have a question and answer portion. During that, please type your questions into the chat box feature in order for your questions to be answered by Tyler. If this meeting is lagging for you or your connection is unstable, we do suggest that you close out of any unnecessary programs on your computer to free up some bandwidth for yourself. I see in the chat box we have people tuning in from Portland, Lake Oswego, Albany, Phoenix, Oregon, Mesa, Arizona, Vancouver, Washington, Gresham, Oregon. We got people from all around. That's really awesome to see. If you are just tuning in right now, this is Lunch with Leaders by Junior Achievement, featuring Tyler Lussi, professional soccer player for the Portland Thorns FC. As you may be familiar, Junior Achievement of Oregon and Southwest Washington works in partnership with schools to inspire and prepare young people for their future economic success. In partnership with education and business communities, we are energizing students around their future possibilities. Through integrated learning models and focused on work readiness, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy, we are empowering the next generation with the capacity and motivation to build a better future for themselves and their community. We serve tens of thousands of K-12 students every year through JA BizTown, our popular 5th grade program, JA Finance Park, our flagship financial literacy program, our in-class programs, and much more. So thank you again all for joining us today. I'm really excited to introduce our student moderator, Maya Brazil. Maya was the 2019 Portland Rose Festival Queen. She went to St. Mary's Academy and will be attending Westcliff University in Irvine, California, where she will play women's basketball and earn her degree in business administration. Hi, Maya. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Mom. Thank you.
Is Tyler Lussi. Thanks so much for being here, Tyler. At this point, I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Maya to get us started.
Thank you, Molly. Hello, everyone. Tyler Lussi has played as a forward-position professional soccer player with the Portland Thorns FC since 2017, winning the National Women's Soccer League Championship. Before starting at the Thorns, Tyler was the captain of Princeton's winning team and was two-time All-American and two-time Ivy League Player of the Year. On top of her great success as an athlete, Tyler co-founded the National College Recruiter Center, providing scholar athletes and parents academic and athletic planning support to improve positive behavior and achieve potential. Tyler is also a commercial real estate executive, soccer coach, and team leader in Bikes for the World. Tyler, hi.
Hi, Maya. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being on here with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for Junior Achievement for having me today. I'm so excited to talk to you all.
Awesome. So we're going to jump right into it. Tyler, would you mind telling us, how did you get started in your career?
Yes. So from a very young age, I was probably about 3 years old, I started playing soccer just on a grass field, kicking around a ball. Love the feeling of the ball at my feet. And then I played youth soccer back in Maryland, where I'm from the ages of 6 to 18. I knew I always wanted to play soccer in college, but education was the most important thing to me. So when I was getting recruited and visiting schools, I decided to go to Princeton University and loved my 4 years there, loved playing for the Princeton women's soccer team, and continued my path and knew I wanted to play pro soccer. And in 2017, it was January, I was drafted by the Portland Thorns in the National Women's Soccer League. But at the time, I was still in school. I still had my spring semester to complete. I had classes. I had my senior thesis to finish. So I had to basically write a book, but loved my time writing that and loved that experience. So as I was talking to the Thorns coaches, the best option was to complete my degree, so graduate in June, and then move out here to Portland, Oregon, and start my journey with the Thorns. So the Thorns were very accommodating, and it really fit because I wanted to graduate, I wanted to get my degree, and then start my pro career. So I've been with the Thorns now for this is my 4th season. Loved every single second. Have grown so much, not only as a person, but as a player, because I get to play with some of the world's best. And in this environment, you just have to, keep working hard and striving to get better every single day. And just love being here. So, yeah.
Awesome. From Maryland to Portland, that's a huge jump. What would you say has been the best part of Portland?
Oh, there's so many things about Portland that I love. Definitely, it's a different climate. There's so many things to do here. Different environments. There's the coast, but love really the people, and especially our fans just show up every single day, full force, decked out in Thorns gear, ready to go, ready to cheer us on from before we even start warming up to even after the game. They stick around and we're cheering for them, because if they're cheering for us, we have to give the same amount of effort and respect that they're giving to us. So definitely the fans. Also the food is really great out here. So it's awesome.
This is great to hear. So Tyler, you're a professional soccer player, but you also wear many hats. You are a commercial real estate executive, a soccer coach, a team leader. What does your day-to-day job responsibilities look like?
So a typical day for me is pretty busy. Try to get up really early because, as Maya said, I am a co-founder of the National College Recruiting Center. So it's a text-based mentoring company that I started with my older brother, who's a pro triathlete and law student. And we provide parents and or guardians and scholar athletes a way to communicate through text messages. And a lot of our clients are on the East Coast since we started that back in 2017. So make sure that we're giving them the best planning, reporting, suggesting to enhance best behaviors, communication, and to always strive to get better. So have to be on top of that and make sure that everybody within the company, all the mentors we have, are on top of communicating with their athletes and their parents or guardians. And then, so I'll do that early in the morning, and then I work in commercial real estate. So make sure that I'm getting back with clients and emails. I do a lot of analytical work. And transactions. So I need to make sure I'm on top of that as well. And then make sure that I'm fully recovered for practice and get ready for training. And then training, depending on what time, I think it's important to always be able to adjust and adapt. Sometimes we'll train early, sometimes we'll train later. And this is a normal schedule right now. I know we're in a little different time and a difficult time with this pandemic, but within a normal schedule, I'd show up a couple hours early to training so that I can get my body warm, stretch, and then we'll have a bunch of team meetings, make sure we go through the plan of the day, and then we'll have practice for a few hours. Depending on the day, we could have a lift after that, and then make sure I'm fueling right away, getting a recovery or protein shake, recovering and stretching, and then get back to my other jobs that I said I had. Unfortunately, right now, I'm unable to train. I usually do small group or individual training sessions, but I can't do that right now. So I've connected with them through Zoom, kind of checking on their skills and helping them in the world right now we're in, as I'm talking to you through Zoom. And then I'm a leader in Bikes for the World, which is a nonprofit organization that I started with my younger brother a few years ago, that we take bikes that are no longer being used or scrap parts and create bikes and build them and send them to other countries, developing countries, so that they can have bikes and access if they don't have cars. Because a bike is honestly an economy, and you can do so much and you can travel so far more than you can on your own 2 feet. So I've been, monitoring that, but it's been pretty set up so far. So it's just kind of monitoring and checking in with that. So yeah, usually day is pretty busy. And then after the day, I'm pretty exhausted from most things. So making sure that I get enough sleep, at least 8 hours, try to get that as much, and have a good dinner and restart the day. But I love what I do.
Yes, you sound like a day full of work, busy with things that obviously you seem passionate about, and those all sound like cool projects. You spoke a little bit about your recovery. What is your favorite way to recover? What are some of your things that you do?
Well, that's a good question. So recovery, like I said, is crucial for any athlete, even if you're starting from a young age. If you can learn recovery tools and tactics early enough, then that will continue as you go on. And if you want to play as a professional in any sport, whether it's soccer or whatever you love to do. So I started this from a young age. I love to take ice baths. I know that's not like the first thing you want to hear, because sitting in a cold tub with your legs immersed in ice water is not the funnest thing to do. It definitely takes a little adjustment to get used to. But it's always benefited me, and I always feel so much better and refreshed after an ice bath. But sometimes other things you can do, foam rolling. There's these new technologies of compression leggings. So there's a lot of tools, but my first thing is an ice bath. So
I'd agree. I love ice bath. Takes me about 20 minutes to get in, but I get in there eventually.
Eventually, yeah, it takes a little bit. You got to it's the first couple of minutes. Those are the hardest, but then after that, it's fine.
Yeah, it's good. You feel like you have new legs afterwards.
Exactly.
So Tyler, what do you love most about your work?
With soccer, I started playing, and I always loved the feeling of the ball at my feet, and playing the game. For me, there's no better feeling. I think in anything you do, if you have a passion and a love for it from an early age, then that's not going to change, no matter the ups and downs. And I go through those all the time, and I've had those ups and downs since I was young and started playing. But if you really love what you do, then you're going to stick with it, and you'll get through it. But with my other jobs, they've kind of challenged me more intellectually, and have really allowed me to give back with my other passions. So I'm very fortunate to be able to do so many things, and really try to invest as much as my time in my other jobs as I give to soccer.
Very cool. What twists and turns have occurred in your career path? You have obviously, like we've said and you mentioned, many different jobs that you do. So what was the path like to those jobs?
Well, in any path I think you have, it's never going to be a straight up hill. It's not going to go straight. There's going to be dips. There's going to be, like you said, twists and turns. Nothing goes perfectly. I had to constantly push and challenge myself all the time. And there's that saying that, you fall down 7 times, you stand up 8, if it's what you truly want to do. And it's choosing to never give up hope on yourself, and always striving for more. So in soccer, from a very young age, I was never the biggest, the fastest, the strongest. So I had to work, with what I had. And what I really focused on was my skills with the ball, and just constantly kept improving. And I put myself from a very young age in uncomfortable environments with soccer. So I played up many levels. I played with girls and guys who were a lot older than me. And I had to think quickly. I had to move faster than I ever thought I could. And within that, I didn't succeed at all with playing with older players. Most of the time I failed. Most of the time I would get, like I said, I would get knocked down. But every time I got back up, because I just love that adrenaline, the fun you had enjoying playing soccer with so many people. So I definitely had to put myself in challenging environments. And even today, as a pro athlete, I'm not the biggest or the fastest, but with my skills with the ball, that have absolutely helped me get to where I am today, and helped me along my career path. So I think sometimes you just have to go back to the basics, and sometimes basics aren't the most fun thing to do, and it sometimes can be tedious, but if you can master the basics, then anything you go on to do, whether it's in soccer or in school, then you're going to succeed in life, because then you can go back to those things. So it's definitely interesting.
That is some awesome advice. I've heard it more than once, and I believe it to be true. So thank you for sharing that. From Princeton to the Thorns, what is it like being on a team?
Oh, well, I can't tell you what it's not like to be on a team, since I've always been on team, whether it's, my family, multiple youth soccer, college soccer. I mean, I played so many other sports when I was younger. I consider, the classmates I had, when I was in middle school, high school, and college, they're my team. My friends are my team. And my Thorns, they're my team. And I really think life is a team event. So if you can surround yourself with people that truly want the best for you, and want you to succeed, then there's nothing really stopping you. And being a part of a team means being a part of something so much bigger than yourself. When I was at Princeton, I thought it meant so much to me. And then coming to Thorns, I was like, wow, I'm not only part of the Thorns and this incredible organization, I'm part of a city that's a full team, because getting, over 20,000 plus fans every home game. And I'm sure a lot of the girls and, people watching are, huge fans and have come to our games. You guys make the team. So it's such an incredible honor and a privilege. And like I said, I get to surround myself with some of the world's best, and truly unique and unbelievable people every single day. And it's awesome to see how many different places we've come from and the different backgrounds and cultures, but we've come together to have one common goal and this common love that we have of the game with the ball at our feet. And I couldn't ask for a better team and teammates.
Awesome. I love the way you look at everyone in your life as a team. You said from your classmates to your family, and even life being a team event. There are people who help us along the way. So thank you for sharing that with us. You touched on your day-to-day schedule, but focusing in more, obviously we're suffering from the pandemic, but when things before the pandemic occurred, what was your training schedule like?
So training schedule before this pandemic, we would have training probably 5 to 6 times a week. And one of those days is obviously a game. And then either 1 or 2 days off, depending on if we had a game, like a midweek game or a weekend game. And within the season, we have 24 games, so 12 home and 12 away. So every 2 weeks or so, we would be traveling to the other 8 NWSL teams, which is awesome. So always constantly traveling, love traveling with teammates, but everyone is always on top of it. I mean, being a pro athlete, you need to take care of yourself, and everybody is a pro in that. You have to be to keep up and stay with it. But training is usually very rigorous and hard and intense, but I love that environment. I love the intensity of it. I think I thrive off that. And it's always fun with my teammates. So it's a good training schedule. And then usually we'll have lifting in the weight room 1 to 2 times per week. And then, we'll have game day. So that's what we're building up to. And usually throughout the week, we'll focus on obviously the team we're about to play, and make sure that we know what their tendencies are, but then primarily focus on what we want to do and what we're trying to achieve. And obviously, we all want to win the game, but we want to do it well and put on a good show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What has surprised you the most with being a professional athlete?
So this is now my 4th year as a pro and with the Thorns. And I think since this pandemic hit, all professional athletes are trying to figure out how we get back to playing and figure out this new norm, which has definitely been surprising. So we're learning, and everybody right now on the Thorns and the staff are all doing well. And I think also in just professional sports in general, it's not purely just about sport itself. There's a business side to it. So that was, learning that definitely surprised me. It was, it's a combination of sport and business is what you need. And then I think, like I said, the fans, having 20,000 plus fans, I don't think I've ever seen that for women's professional sports in the entire world. And I think the combination of fans for the Thorns and Timbers is the best fan base in the entire world. So having both and having the Timbers support us and we support them is definitely a very special organization to be a part of. And like I said, it's such an honor. And I'm wearing this crest right now, and it's really a privilege, and want to do as well as I can and have the do well.
Well, we love our Thorns and Timbers, that is for sure. Is there any pressure or excitement that you get while playing in front of a crowd of 20,000 plus? That's a lot.
Yes, definitely a lot. I think as I navigated through middle school and high school and college, and was fortunate enough to make it to the pro level, you learn how to deal with all different kinds of pressures. So I've been able to, deal with that and, handle that and focus on, what I need to do for the game and get ready for the game. But I think if you use the crowd properly, it's this unlimited source of extra energy. I mean, the fans are really our 12th man on the field, and I feel like they're on the field with us every single time, and it's truly special to have that many fans and crowd come.
Yes, we at Portland, we definitely show up for our teams.
Absolutely.
So Tyler, when you were young, is this what you imagined yourself doing? Was this a goal from an early age?
Yes, when I first started playing soccer, my dream was to become a pro. It didn't happen overnight. Nothing happens instantaneously. As a young girl, I grew up going to women's professional games, watching the matches live. Just saw the passion and dedication that the women were putting into the game and how much they loved it and how much they enjoyed it. But it was also this intense battle. And I never lost sight of my dream. And I went through the ups and downs, and there's going to be successes and failures in anything you do. But if you really stick to it, no matter whether it's in sports or soccer or school or playing an instrument or an art or anything you really love to do, don't let anybody deter you from what you want to accomplish. It's not going to happen, like I said, overnight, but it's a long process. I mean, I started, like I said, when I was 3, and I'm 25, and I've only been playing for a few years and want to play as long as I possibly can. I mean, I look to my captain, Christine Sinclair. I mean, she's been playing for number of years,
A long time.
and a very long time. And I couldn't ask for a better person to look up to and a teammate to have. And now she, just broke the international goal scoring record for both men and women. So to have her as my captain, and I look up to her so much, and I have since I was little, you can't ask for anybody better to be a great example for. And, you just have to keep working hard at it, and it'll happen if you truly love what you do.
Absolutely, and that's pretty special to have Christine right there on the field with you. That's special.
Oh,
So
yes.
you've accomplished a lot. Going to Princeton and Ivy League, it's very clear that you were very focused on your education and that mattered to you. But what are some of the hardships, the major hardships that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
So these 2 words that have got me through every hardship in life, the 2 words are don't stop. And what do I mean by that is whatever you're doing, especially in sport or playing an instrument in front of a crowd and you mess up, or you lose the ball, or you forget your place on the music sheet, I always tell myself, don't stop. And I think the thing is try to stay as calm as possible. But the action of stopping and not hesitating can prevent you from, panicking and making it worse. You're going to mess up. I've messed up. I've lost a ball. I made a, bad play or something. But if you can just stay calm and not react to that, that's going to help you. And then telling myself, don't stop, and keep pushing forward, and keep working as hard as you can, and staying focused will help you get through those hardships. And like I said, I didn't succeed in everything I did. But at the end of the day, what I did was, how do I grow from that? How do I learn from the experiences? I didn't, when I was younger, sometimes I didn't make the team, but did I, get upset? Did I react to it? No, I tried to stay calm. I tried to go to my coaches, go to other mentors, go to my parents, go to my siblings. What can I do to get better? And I think constantly asking questions to those people in your life, to that team in your life that truly you look to and care for you, asking those questions will get you through that hardship, because they want the best for you. And, your parents really are your biggest fans. And anytime I went through a hardship, I know they had my back and they're supporting me, and, they're providing, the roof under my head and food and fuel, and they're the ones driving me to practice. So I, I think the biggest thing is thanking your parents every single day, because they're out working hard in their jobs and helping you, and they want you to succeed. And sometimes I know it's hard for parents when, maybe your athlete or your kid doesn't succeed or want to achieve a goal, but, not being discouraged at all. And just keep working hard. And like I said, don't stop. So that's what helped me.
Absolutely. And as an athlete myself, that information and that just inspired me. So it looks like we'll be moving to Q&A in a few seconds or a few minutes. So Tyler, I'll ask you maybe just one or two more questions. What is something you wish you could tell yourself when you were young?
I think, let's see. When I was young, if I was young, like back to my younger self, I was going to say something. There's not always one way to succeed and achieve your goals. I think sometimes I was focused down a narrow path, and I feel like I could have been a little more flexible in understanding opinions of my parents, coaches, and mentors in my life. And I think it's sometimes it's difficult for a young person to balance that. I probably wouldn't have listened to myself when I was young, because you're so focused on not being distracted by peer pressure that you keep studying and focused on, your sport or what you love to do in school. And you think there's sometimes only one way to keep focused. And as you grow and mature and get older, you find out different ways to stay focused. Through middle school and high school, sometimes I was almost a robot about schoolwork, soccer training, the other sports I was doing. Whereas when I got to college and my training as a professional athlete, I was able to balance more of the social aspect, but at the same time still stay focused on my training as a professional athlete. So sometimes, don't be so hard on yourself. You don't have to make everything perfect, but at the end of the day, just try your hardest, and you'll achieve what you want.
Absolutely. Okay, last question, and then we will go into Q&A, I think. What is some advice you would give to young athletes listening?
Some advice. I would say have confidence in yourself, your abilities. Don't let the fear of failing deter you. Surround yourself with people and players who want the best for you. Stay focused, and like I said before, don't stop.
Awesome. Well, it looks like Molly will lead us into some Q&A that the students have submitted.
All right, Thank you all so much for listening to Tyler. Tyler, thank you for answering those questions so far. I do want to let you all know, if you stick around until the very end of this Q&A portion, we're going to be announcing a winner for a giveaway for 4 tickets to see the. So please do stick around. If you have any questions for Tyler, we've already gotten quite a few in already, but please go ahead and type those in the chat box, and then I will be asking Tyler any questions that you guys have. So Tyler, let's start out with a question that I think a couple of people asked and a lot of people are wondering. How is the team staying fit right now? Like, do you guys all get to practice together? What does the pandemic look like for your training schedule?
Yes, so recently we have now started with small group training sessions. Last week and a half were individual sessions, so we had our set times of when to show up. But now we've started small group training sessions. Everybody is following all the health protocols. Everybody on the team, staff, and organization are all healthy and safe. We've been tested. Everybody is all good. So with training, we're all kind of in these small group sessions and kind of sticking to those throughout the week, and hopefully building to full team training now. But within those 2 months of where we weren't allowed to train together, we had to do a lot of at-home workouts, a lot of body weight workouts, just because we didn't have access to a gym, and then had to go for some long runs down, on the road and everything. So just keeping ourselves in shape. But it's so nice to be back, seeing my teammates in person. But obviously we're keeping our distances between each other, but being able just to pass with a teammate instead of a wall or something around my house is definitely a breath of fresh air. And hopefully we will transition to full team training and return to some type of normalcy, because this is what we love to do, and just being around each other makes my day so much better.
Yeah, that's great. We had a couple of people, both Lucas and Maritza, asked, your new jerseys are looking really cool. And what are your thoughts on your guys' new jerseys?
Oh, that's a great question. We love them. Absolutely love them. Both jerseys are just a statement. Nike did an incredible job. The entire team, we can't wait to just put our jerseys on. So we're really excited, and it's hopefully it'll happen soon. But love them. Love the black jersey. Love both the white jersey as well. But the home jersey is definitely, the dark rose is a statement. So.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome. A similar question Gina was asking in the chat, what do the stars on your jacket right now mean?
So the stars on my jacket is the 2 championships that the Thorns have won. So the first one was in 2013, and then the second one is in 2017, which was my rookie year when we won the NWSL Championship. So every year a star gets added for the championship win, and hopefully we'll get to add a third one.
And along those same lines, a student, Maritza, had a question. When you won the championship, how did it feel? How were you feeling in that moment?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I just remember the final whistle blew, and everybody just sprinted to each other, and we dogpiled on the field. And then we got all our medals and trophy. And then once the confetti just went up, everybody just started jumping, and we went crazy. And it was just a great season and moment for us as a team that we'll never forget, because we got the star on our jersey. But it was something I'll never forget. And hopefully we can add some more and have some more confetti. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sure that was so fun. Emma asked in the chat, what is your go-to pre-game routine?
So my go-to pre-game, depending on what time the game is. So if a game is at 7 o'clock, day's kind of long, so you got to make sure that you obviously get enough rest. We'll fuel, have a great breakfast, kind of go for a little light walk or jog and stretch out, make sure I'm getting my body moving and not just sitting all day waiting for the game. And then sometimes I'll just, within my house or wherever I am, if we're on the road, I'll kind of just have a ball at my feet, just to kind of get my mind, my mental side of the game ready, and then my obviously physical side with my body getting prepared. And then we'll have a team meeting, and a pregame meal is usually kind of 3 to 4 hours before the game, make sure that we're fueling properly and hydrating throughout the day, and then we'll go to the game and get ready to win.
Yeah, definitely. Cash in the chat asks, do you ever watch other teams play on TV to see what their playing style is?
Yes, I love studying the game. I feel like, if you can go to the Thorns game or Timbers game, watching a live game is crucial for your development as a player, specifically if you're focusing, if you're a defender, a midfielder, or forward, focusing on those players and their tendencies. My favorite player is Messi. So watching him play and his movement and his skill and just his ability with the ball is what I love to watch. But I also have to study the other teams within the league so that when we're up against our opponent, I know how to, maneuver and go at the defenders as a forward and attack them. So.
Nice, yeah. Lucas was asking in the chat, who on your own team do you most look up to and why?
So I think, obviously I mentioned Christine Sinclair as our captain, absolutely look up to her, but I think I look up to every single person on my team, and we have that mutual respect and that same attitude and ability and dedication to constantly work hard. So I admire every single person on my team, and I couldn't just say one person just because this is such a special group of girls and women, and I admire every single person on my team.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome that you feel that way. Maritza was asking, what is the hardest team that you've ever played against? And what's the hardest game that you've ever played?
So every game in the NWSL is hard. I wouldn't say, you show up and you can automatically assume which team is going to win that day. It really just depends on how you come out of the gates and the first whistle and it's just, you have to, my mindset is you always have to be ready and play from whistle to whistle. Don't let, the last play, you got to stay focused even then. And I think the hardest game I've played in with my professional career would probably be, I think it was my first start, my rookie year against the North Carolina Courage. Definitely was a battle, and it was a great team win, but it was a good, hard-fought win. So
nice, yeah, wow. Olivia was asking, what is your favorite place that you've ever gotten to travel to for soccer?
So obviously I have to say Portland because I traveled here and became a pro here. But other places, so I used to play on the under 23 national team, mainly throughout my junior, senior, and then a little bit after throughout college. So I went to a lot of international places. We played many different teams. We went to Spain a couple of times. We've gone to Croatia and England. So definitely traveling internationally was a great experience and really helped my development as a soccer player.
That sounds like a lot of fun, yeah. Milo was asking, do you have a favorite football team in Europe?
So my favorite would obviously, I'm a Messi fan, so I support Barcelona, but I also support Arsenal. So, I'm a fan of the game, so if the game is on, I'm going to watch it. But Barcelona, just their skill, their pace, their desire to be excellent is what I like to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Now we've got a big kind of heavy question, but I think it's important to talk about. Livia was asking in the chat, what are your thoughts on unequal pay for gender in sports?
That's a great question, and it's definitely a heavy question. I want to be paid equally. I think we deserve that with the U.S. women's national team. They've achieved so much, and they should, and we all should. It's something that needs to be talked about more, and I know it is a lot, mainly talked about all the time, and something that I've actually been working on before this pandemic and hopefully after is taking the NWSL public. So that means if a lot of you don't work in the stock market, but it's selling and buying shares of stock so that fans and players can be owners of the league, so that not just of a team, but of the entire league, so that you, would be able to support us, and that would pay dividends. So you would get earnings back. And that's something I've been working on for a number of years because I want to increase our salaries and coaches' salaries that compare to other professional sports leagues. And this is a big idea, and it's a way to help all women's professional soccer, and hopefully could help other women's professional sports teams. And because I love what I do, and I would still do it if I wasn't paid. Obviously, I'd like to be paid. This is my job, and I have to have other jobs. But this is a big idea in a way that we could increase our salaries. So I absolutely want to be paid equally, and think that women deserve as much and more at times.
Yeah, well, thank you for your thoughts on that, Tyler. Definitely, as I said, a big topic. So glad to hear your opinion on that for sure. We had someone, Maya, ask in the chat, and I know a lot of people tuning in right now are big soccer fans or soccer players themselves. So our last Q&A today, Maya said, I love soccer and I've played soccer since I was a little kid. What is the biggest piece of advice that you can give to help me get to the next level in soccer?
Best advice is believe in yourself. Don't give up. Don't ever give up on yourself. There's so many people rooting for you, even if you don't believe it, there are. And the biggest thing is I worked with the ball. I had to master the ball. And, you know, there's so many resources out today, different apps and everything of different skills you can do. But if you can work on your touch and your skill with the ball, receiving, passing, decision-making, you will go very far. And that's why I believe I'm here today, is because I really had to just hours and hours and dedication, not just in practice. I think you can't just go to practice and think that's enough. You need to go to practice, and then after practice for 15, 30 minutes in your backyard or your basement, find a wall. Just reach out to your coaches, but always be confident in yourself, and know that you are unique and special, and what you have to offer is going to be beneficial to your team and your growth as a person. So stay dedicated, stay focused, and like I said, don't stop.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that advice, Tyler. We are wrapped up with the Q&A. We're going to move on to the closing now. Before we just have our last couple of remarks, I would like to announce our giveaway winner. So you'll be winning 4 tickets to see the Portland Thorns whenever they get to play again. And our raffle winner today is Lane Lee. So Lane, I'll be emailing you after this with those tickets. I'm going to turn it back over to Maya for a couple closing remarks as well.
Tyler, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you all so much for attending JA's Lunch with Leaders featuring Tyler Lussi. Tyler, it was great to hear your story. I know that I learned a lot, and I'm sure others watching can say the same. Could everyone listening please join me in saying thank you to Tyler with an American Sign Language round of applause. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. We are so glad to have you. Tune in the same time next week for another edition of Lunch with Leaders. Tyler, would you like to say goodbye to our listeners?
Yes, so I want to say thank you to Junior Achievement for having me and inviting me to speak, and to Maya for the great questions, making me feel so welcome. I want to say to the rest of you, I wanted to remind you why I'm here and the responsibility I'm now passing to you all. I'm here because, professional athletes took the time to speak to me and my teammates when I was your age, and they passed that responsibility on to me, which I'm now passing on to you all. You all have to follow your passion, work as hard as you can in school and in what you love to do, and like I am today, help inspire and mentor the next generation. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tyler, for sharing with us. This has been Lunch with Leaders by Junior Achievement, our virtual career speaker series. As Maya said, if you're not signed up yet, please do go ahead and register for next week's. We'll be joined by entrepreneur and economist Stephen Green, and you can find out more about that on our website, jaorswwa.org. But again, thank you so much, Tyler, for being here, and we really appreciate all of you tuning in and listening. So thank you to all of you as well. Thank you so much. This will be the end. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for being here.